Hey guys, this is your boy Dino aka DRP here. Welcome back to another video to my channel. I mean, you guys would have saw one of my recent videos on me reacting to a whole live video where I briefly spoke about having, well, another serious issue came up on, with me physically, but I didn't mention it too much on the whole live video. So like it happened about 3-4 days ago. Now you guys should know, when I made my last update video, I spoke about how I went, like, physically, it's probably my worst year physically, where it started off with injuries on both my shoulders and my chest. I was severely injured to the point where I was out of action for quite a while with exercising, and as they were all healing up, I had started having issues with my back heel, aka Achilles tendonitis, or my Achilles tendons basically, where it's probably one of the worst injuries you could get. And if you injure it, you're going to be out of action for so long. Like, people who've got it injured are never the same when they come back, when they're recovered and whatnot. Like I mentioned on that update video, that I can walk fine. It will start to hurt after a while, but I can't jog or run at all because of this. Well, as that's healing right now, 4 days ago from work, I got back home. My girlfriend actually surprise visited me at work, and we went out to eat. We had a pretty good time. And as we were going back to my place, she then said, like, what's up, why have you got all of these rash? Like, I'm someone who has eczema, right? So when I do have a lot of rash, it's I'm expecting it, especially during this weather. When it comes to summer, my eczema tends to get worse, because obviously there's a lot more sweating. I sweat a lot more in summer. It's so hot. Like, the thing is, UK is such a cold place in general, that when we do get summer and it's hot, it's unbearable in the UK. And the humidity was off the roof. It was so boiling hot. So obviously I sweat naturally without doing much. So when it's summer and it's hot, I sweat like crazy. So obviously I get itchiness, and my eczema does tend to worsen a lot. But since I've been dealing with my eczema for as long as I can remember now, for so long, I know what to expect and I can deal with it. However, this time she said, this doesn't look like it's rash. It looks like you got massive lumps on your forehead, like around here. So what the fuck do you mean by lumps? And she took a photo. I'm like, and basically I had these. It was weird. I don't know what it was. It was like these red lumps, like in round but irregular shapes. So what the fuck is this? And obviously I was itchy throughout my body and whatnot, but I thought it was eczema, so it was cool. We got home and I took my shirt off, and that's when she saw. She was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, what are you on about? Because obviously I can't see around me, right? I can see my stomach, and then I can see like the side of my stomach, but I can't see my back. So she took a video of it, guys, and literally my entire back and side of my stomach was all red and lumpy. I was like, this has never happened before, like round irregular lumps. It basically covered my entire back, covered my entire legs, both of my legs. It was entirely covered. Entire back was fully covered because of it. My sides was fully covered. Basically the only thing that wasn't that didn't have those lumps was basically my stomach at the front and my face. Like, it already started spreading on my forehead. I was like, what the fuck is this? I started panicking, because this is not something I've seen before. Like, I've seen rashes before. I've seen rashes and eczema, which is something I can deal with. I've seen it before and I had to deal with it. I've got a lot of allergy tablets. I've got medications, cream to use. This is the cream I use, Aveeno. Basically, it helps me a lot with eczema. So I know what to expect when it's rashes, but when it's these massive red lumps, I started panicking. I'm not gonna lie. I legit started panicking like crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is something I've never seen before. Obviously, my siblings are more versed with the science stuff when it comes to science, medication, all that stuff, and symptoms and whatnot. So when I sent the photos to them, they said you most likely broke out of hives. which is something obviously I've heard of, but I didn't know what it was exactly and what it would look like. This is the first time I've ever, despite having eczema, I've never broke out of hives before. This was like the very first time I broke out of hives. I ended up getting hives. So what the fuck's this? So my siblings were saying, just go to the nearest pharmacy as soon as possible. Ask for antihistamines. Antihistamines basically calms down the inflammation of hives and calms down the symptoms, so it should go away. And they said hives is something that doesn't exactly last for that long. Sometimes they even last just for like, 1 to 2 days. So I went to the nearest pharmacy, basically told them, look, I broke out hives. It looks really bad. I don't know what to get. And they said you could get antihistamines. I was like, cool. They gave me the one that not prescribed, but they get the over the counter, right? The one they recommended. So I took that, bought it, came home, and I took the tablets. And I don't know what to think because they did, my siblings did mention that there has to be a trigger to these hives. There's always a trigger to hives. And I said I've never gotten hives in my life. So they said something clearly must have triggered it, whether it's your food, drink, your environment around you, your workplace. It could be anything. It really could be anything. So literally, I was like, you know what, fuck this, and I legit just called in sick from work, which I barely do. I never call in sick, but it's the second time I called in sick this year as well, and I hate doing that. So because I broke into hives like this, it was really bad, guys. I don't want to show you the photos because it was that bad. And considering I've got eczema as well, apparently people who have skin allergies in general, like naturally, would be more vulnerable to hives, aka me. I've got hay fever, I've got eczema, so I'm apparently more vulnerable to hives, which is pretty funny because I've never broken out of hives ever. Like in this 29 years, this is the first time I've ever gotten hives, so I must have got lucky somehow. But yeah, I was taking the tablets. It seemed like it was going down, and then legit 2 days ago, I woke up and it was back on full force. It was back full force around my back. It was completely covered. My whole back was completely covered in this massive lumps, all red as well. When it's all red, it's really itchy as well. And the thing is, I don't want to scratch it because it will end up spreading. It was really hard not to itch. I was like, you know what, fuck this. I had to go A&E, or in this case hospital. I actually went straight to the hospital. I had to wait for about two hours. Luckily the time that I went there was early morning, because when I figured out what it was on my back and it came back full force, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, fuck this. And after staying up for a bit to see if it calms down, it didn't really calm down. And then around 6-7 o'clock I left to the hospital. And by the time I got there, it was really awkward, because by the time I got to the hospital, waited for a few hours, and I told the doctor about everything. I showed him the video of me recording me having those hives early in the morning before coming to the hospital. He saw it, he was like, oh shit, that looks really bad. Like, okay, take off your shirt and show me the back. So I was like, cool, and I took it off and I showed the back. He was checking it. And he was like, well, good news, the hives that looked like that in the morning, which was really, really bad, it's no longer there. Which was really awkward. So, because it was really bad in the morning, and then by the time I went home, went to the hospital, which was about 2 to 3 hours in between, it kind of, it was not there anymore. Or it was just completely, it was not like it was not there anymore completely, but it was more like it went down, like it calmed down by a significant amount. So it was like, so it was really hard to tell if it was there or not. So he's like, well, good news is I can't see it, it's barely there. So that's the good news. So it's not like it's flared up and it's staying, it's definitely calming down. So that's a good news for me. He did, however, mention that I've got a lot of dry patches, and I did tell him that I've got eczema. So he was like, okay, have you gone to a dermatologist for this? I was like, no, I haven't. And he goes, well, what I'll do is he would refer me to a dermatologist just to check on my skin in general overall, because obviously you breaking out hives, obviously it's skin related. So obviously if you go to a dermatologist, they'll be able to deal with what you got with your eczema as well. So when they try to deal and treat your eczema, who knows if that could also treat your hives as well. He did mention, like, when it comes to triggers of hives, it could be anything. It's such a wide aspect that it could be anything. It could be like how my siblings mentioned it, or it could be food, drinks, the environment you work at. He also did mention that this year the pollen count is really high this year, and he asked if I've got hay fever, and I do. Surprise. He did mention the pollen count and hay fever is so bad this year that is another reason why you could have broken out of hives as well. This year, the pollen count is actually one of the highest it's been in quite some time. So he did mention hives. That could be a major reason of why you broke into hives, but that's not for like a guaranteed reason, but it could be a major factor. But he said it could be anything. So he also said, whilst I refer you to a dermatologist, what I would advise you to do is to do an allergy test to your nearest general practitioner, GP. Basically an allergy test, basically you can go to your GP, nearest GP, well, the GP I'm signed up for, and they, if he said he would refer me for an allergy test, where if you go to the GP, they basically will do an allergy test and see what you're allergic to and what you're not allergic to. Any food, drinks, chemicals, anything that you're allergic to, you can do the test, and they will tell you, they'll give you a detailed report of what food, drinks and chemicals you're allergic to, so that if you know what you're allergic to, in terms of eczema or hives or anything, your allergic reaction, you could, once you've stopped them, you could then that could then be a major solution for stopping your hives once and for all. But yeah, that once again, like, it's just like one shit after another physically for me this year. This year has just not been it for me when it comes to like physical well-being. Like, I've had injuries this year. I've got a pre-occurring injury on my back heel. My allergy just gets worse. Breaking out of hives is probably one of the worst things that's happened to me this year, or ever. Breaking out of hives, considering it's my first time, I don't know what to expect. So I was borderline panicking, hyperventilating. I was like, what the fuck's this? I was stressing out like crazy. Another major thing about hives is that you don't want to be so stressed. The more stressed you get, the more it releases histamines or something, and so that actually brings out the hives even more when you're stressing out. So, but then it's so hard not to stress because of how many stuff that's gone through this year for me physically. So it's just been a shit year for me, guys, physically. So yeah, I broke out of hives about 4 days ago. They've basically given me a medication for the meantime. They said they've given me, like, the medication that I was taking at the time is the same medication they're giving me, but a higher dosage. In fact, it's the strongest one, strongest dosage, being fixofenadine. It's mainly for allergies and whatnot. I used to take 120, and now they were like, okay, we'll give you the strongest one, being 180 grams and 180 mg. Just put it on whenever your symptoms starts to kick in and whatnot. However, that's the strongest one we've got before having an injection. So basically, if the tablets you're putting, the strongest one that they're prescribed, and that doesn't work, then they said by all means come back to the hospital. That's fine. If you're feeling worried about it, feel free to come down, and the next step will be the injection. But he did say in the meantime he will refer me to my GP about having a dermatologist appointment and getting an allergy test done as well. So that way I know what to expect. So yeah, it's just been so shit this year, guys. You probably just thinking, wow, this guy has all the issues in the world, like physically, like he just probably, like, because I've done a few videos, update videos, you're probably thinking, Dino, what the fuck's up with you, man? Like, I don't know. I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew. But I still got some videos done, because I am, like, compared to how I was on the very first day, I am definitely feeling better. But it's still there. I'm not gonna lie, the hives is still there. but it's significantly gone down since the first day. But at the same time, I've had it where the hives has gone down, and by the next morning it flares back up. Because what I've also heard is that hives actually gets worse in the night, because of your not immune system, but something that protects you from the hives is at its lowest in the night when you're sleeping. And also, since you're sleeping, you don't have that many distractions as well, so the hives are actually more likely to get worse overnight as well, over the night, which is why I must have had all of that shit before I went to the hospital when I woke up that morning. But yeah, I thought I'd let you know about what's going on with me. You'll probably, hopefully I get a relief, man. Like, hopefully I get a breather from just all the physical shit just going on with me. Yeah, see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Like, at the end of the day, what I can do at the end of the day is just take it to the chin and move on, isn't it? Like, I have to take it to the chin and move on. What I'm also worried about is that this is the second time I've called in sick this year at work. They will definitely question it, but I've got a legit reason. I did end up going to the hospital, so I wouldn't let them know about this. But from now on, I have to be careful with not calling in sick at work as well. So that's another shit that's on my mind. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is what's going on with me. But hopefully I get better for you guys. I will get better. So thank you guys for watching. This is your boy Dino signing out. Peace.